I'm going to call to order this Thursday, June 20th, 2024 meeting of Springfield Historical Commission. We have Commissioners Paul, Marty, Walter Cole, and we have Attorney Shuchuk online.
Yep, I'm here, present.
Excellent. All right, I'd like if we have minutes from the June 6th meeting, and entertain a motion to accept the minutes. I would like to show you. Thanks. During discussion on the motion.
No other than if it's down to the grade plan, but writing.
Yeah, yeah, it's probably most detailed minutes we've ever had. Really good.
Thank you, John.
No changes, no corrections. Let's just hearing, no more discussion. I'm just all in favor. Aye. Any opposed? Let's have it. Okay, we have continued public hearings. We have 9197 Chestnut Street. I don't know that they're here. Anyone here from Chestnut Street? Okay, this is
Second time out.
no, let's continue. I have work 6:20 in here, so we are going to.
I'm sorry.
When's the next meeting?
July 18th.
So we gotta continue this or vote on it, whichever.
Yeah.
I don't think there's, I have no problem with continuing this again, but if anybody thinks different, then we should vote. We can have a vote. No. Yeah. Okay, then I entertain a motion to continue. 9197 Chestnut Street to. What was it again?
718.
Okay. So. Okay, can I have discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? I have it. Okay, now we have 144 Buckingham Street. It's an application for a certificate of appropriateness.
Yes, I do.
Okay,
I have the person who does the
well, just grab a chair, if you can both give your names and addresses for the record.
Linda Wallace, 144 Buckingham Street.
My name is Anthony Williams. I work for United Housing Experts.
What's your address?
98. Oh, where I live? 98 Court Street, Cromwell, Connecticut.
Perfect, thank you. Okay, it's just application, the windows, the issue was color. And what else? I don't think we had a picture or yeah, we didn't have like a good rendering of what how the windows snap. And what the slim line, did it sit down on the sill or does it tuck into the color, I remember color was an issue.
Yeah.
So tell us what are you showing to us?
Okay. So we will change the color.
Okay.
We can change the color to black or bronze. The dark color that you guys requested.
Okay.
And we also can. We also can add the grid pattern.
External.
It's a SDL grid, so it'll be simulated divided light. So
Right, but it needs to be external.
it'll be external. I'll show you that.
No, that's, you're hitting the right spots there. I remember they were two over one. I remember.
Yeah.
Just show you.
And just so you can see, they will be SDL grids.
Okay,
All right.
and these are, all of those are just two over one, right? We have
It's
one
literally
down to
just
that
one. Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Now, I have another question about the window. How does it sit on the sill?
Okay. Since it's going to be insert window, we will be pulling the exterior stop, dropping the window in the frame that it currently is. It will stick out a little bit because that's the jam sash.
Right, I mean, some of them, some vinyl windows, they have comes in, it's like this thick with about.
Yeah.
There are some that are very thin.
Okay.
Is the thin one down the bottom? You know what I'm saying?
Thinner usually doesn't last as long.
Well,
That's
that's not-
why I know expand. I hear what you're saying. It's gonna be a
Question. Yeah, it's. It's some picture of it's how it sits on the sill. If you have a picture of that, it would be.
you want an interior picture?
No, exterior.
Exterior.
What it looks like from the outside.
Typically it's almost flush. It's almost flush. It just sticks out.
So you can, there's a screen kind of covers there.
See.
Can you expand it? Once you expand it?
Yeah, just a little bit. Not kidding. So if I pick this up and
Yeah.
pass it around.
Pass it around.
Okay, thank you.
They all sit pretty much the same way, just like that.
And also, I say, whatever you show to the commission, you just email it to me as well. For the
Absolutely.
record, thank you.
Okay, what's the number on this window? It's just for our record.
What number?
What's a model?
Oh, it's a Provia indoor.
Anybody have any questions? Can we?
Have that as part of the updated submission or not?
Yeah, we do, we have.
The Provia model? And what's the new information on the?
No, so we did not receive any new information.
So it's.
No, he's giving it to us.
Right, that's why I just said.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's why, right now, right, exactly, that's why I'm now.
I mean, it's color. Have you have issues on color, anybody? Or is it brown or black? Or it's. What are you suggesting, Bob?
Yeah, because black was the original color, I just want to stay with the black.
Okay, black color with exterior mullion, just one or 2/1. That's all. As far as I can recall, that's all we were looking for.
Yeah.
Anybody else? So let me reopen, not reopen, this is public. Public commentary. Is there anyone here like to speak for or against this application for certificate of appropriateness in 144 Buckingham Street to install these windows? Number was. Anybody for or against this proposal? Harry.
I am Harry Seymour from 68 Washington Road in Springfield. I would like to speak for it. I think it's lovely the way they've come back and met all the criteria.
Thank you, Harry. Anybody else for or against? A lot of yeses out there. I see you shaking your head. If you want to put it on the record, you can. If not, that's okay. If there's nobody else, I'll pull the public commentary. Entertain a motion to accept the application for certificate of appropriateness at 144 Buckingham Street to install these windows. Just tell me the number again.
Provia indoor.
Probably indoor, black color, the exterior, mullion 2/1. So. Okay, is there any discussion on the motion? Okay, all in favor? Aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it.
Thank you so much.
No, thank you for working with us. To keep more of the historical.
Yes.
Thank you too.
Can I get his email so I can send everything over?
Yeah, okay.
You do Thank you. Have a nice day.
You too. You too.
Have a nice cool drive back.
I'll try. Okay, 29 George Street. Anyone here from 29 George Street? How's our time on George Street?
I would recommend if they don't appear tonight, I would say that you guys should render a decision.
It's an application for certificate of appropriateness to replace rear porch shingles. And get bugs of it. Replace rear porch spindles, replace the second floor, third floor windows. Maybe we can put it aside. Are we expecting them or are we not?
We haven't heard from the property owner.
Yeah, let me at least put it in case they have to have one. I hate to show you. Vote on it and not need. We'll remind. Yeah, just remind me, that's right.
Is it appropriate to reach out to them and remind them that this is going to be?
Well, they have, even today, reached out to them.
Usually we did, yes, yeah.
I just, you know, I don't think they're coming in, but I figured we'd give them one more time. They happen to walk in, that would be good. Yeah. All right, next is 55 Emery. He's back. This is an application for certificate of appropriateness at Emery Street to,
So there's two applications. So there's the first one is for this continued item, the remediation of the window exterior window color. So whether or not you resolve that today or whether.
Okay, that happens come second in my file.
Oh, sorry.
But go ahead. And the display of that.
So that's first on the agenda, and then when we get to the next other hearings, we'll have the sliding door. But first, you guys are eventually gonna discuss the exterior window color.
I know that when we talked about it at the last meeting, we offered more time than just the 2 weeks for this meeting. And I don't recall, it's probably in the minutes.
It's 60 day.
60 days.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm gonna reconvene the Springfield Historic Commission. And we were, application for certificate of appropriate 59 Emery Street for window frame color changes. And we had already extended that time, so I'm gonna deal with that today. We're just gonna continue and entertain a motion to continue it to the next meeting. Which, I already know, 18th, July 18th. You a second on that motion? All right, is there any discussion on the motion?
But would it be okay to ask for an update if he hasn't? Or is that not usually done?
No, since we planned it in the last meeting, I wasn't gonna ask him, but if he has anything to say, he's certainly very attentive.
We want to paint the outside of the windows and get some samples and with the heat, can paint because the paint's drying in my can as you
But yeah,
try
it's
to
way too hot.
paint, it's crazy.
Okay,
That's fine.
okay. So any other discussion on that motion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Good. All right, stay up there. Continue. Thank you.
Remember chat, David Chuchu?
No. Oh, no.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
Exactly. Oh, man, now the next is, now we're on new public hearings, 55 Emery. Installation of sliding door. On, with that.
Sorry, just because we have another recording device, can you just specify the meeting that we're in, the date and
I mean, that we're the Springfield Historical Commission, and it's Thursday, June 20, 2024. And we have started a alternate recording due to a potential power outage. And we are on public hearing new at 55 Emery Street, Song, Sign there, Farmstead, entryway. Name and address for the record.
David Bornstein, 9 Yorkshire Court, Farmington, Connecticut.
Excellent. Okay, tell us about your door.
We have to widen the door to the front of the building. We have handicap and ADA restrictions, and with the wheelchair, they're very tough with the entrance that they have. So we're just widening to approximately another foot on each side of the door and putting a sliding door to make it accessible to people who can't just open the door easier.
This is good how it's going to end up looking.
Yes, sir. A little higher, but yes.
Okay. You have what it looks like now.
Sent some specifications also on what, I have a picture.
No, we have it here somewhere. See what it looks like from the street there now. You mean just maybe a taller door than that or?
It'll be a
wider
little
door than
taller
that?
and it does have a track that goes across because it will go to the right side when it's open. It will look like that when it's closed, but it will go.
It's not two sides, one in each direction, it's all
No.
going one way.
Correct,
Okay,
to the right,
okay, so it's right, you're just replacing that.
correct.
Yeah, that's nothing what it looks like, right? Isn't it?
No.
Okay. Any questions from commissioners? Hearing none. We open this up for the commentary. Is there anyone that would like to speak for or against this application for certificate of appropriateness? To right, to install a new storefront sliding door for entrance in the courtyard. On the 7th. Anyone here for or against? For, thank you, seems to be an appropriate adaptation. Thank you very much. Anybody else? Okay, seeing none, I close the public commentary. Entertain a motion to accept the application for certificate of appropriateness and registry to install a door as described. So move. Okay, is there any discussion on that motion?
I just have one question.
Yes.
It'll be, what color will the door be?
My question.
The anodized, clear aluminum, like the storefronts and the office next to it.
What color?
It's like a silver color, it's like this color.
Right to the right of this, are you able to rotate? Maybe it won't be there.
I can show you the.
You can look at the existing, so it's gonna match what's already there.
Mhm.
Just-
Oh, see, that's all new
Because
already.
that's all changed.
That's all changed already, so.
Oh, yeah, it looks nothing like that.
So I wonder if that's the problem. And this old picture, it's already way.
This is what the opening looks like without the loading back there anymore.
So the windows are all, see, that's all redone. Do you have a picture of the storefront just right here?
Yeah,
I think we do it better. I think it's fine. You don't have it there.
I am.
Well, I thought we might have them that he did that.
Now, which section of the building was not? Being started, like the.
All of the new, all that new.
Yeah.
This is part of the corner of the office area with the anodized, aluminum.
That's the part that's not part of this.
Correct. That's
But it's
the
right
office-
there,
That's,
right there.
that's in vision of the.
Right adjacent to it. And this only faces Columbus Avenue.
Correct.
Okay. Anything else?
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Hearing none. We take the vote on sliding the door. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Let's have it. In case somebody will wonder, so when we got going on the COVID protocol, I did roll call on this. Then I just got a habit of doing, but we really don't have to, while we're all sitting together. So you're all set.
Okay.
Door.
Thank you very
And
much.
we'll work on the color.
Okay, up to you.
See you again soon.
Thank you. Thank you. You too. Good luck on the tower.
Okay, 14 Fairfield.
No.
Name and address for the record.
Nathan Andari, 14 Fairfield Street.
Okay, this is an application for certificate of appropriateness to rehab and replace the front porch. It's back to the original 1901 design.
Yes.
Architect's plans have been drafted and are attached to the application. Base of the house is formed in the sure names of door and window trim. Scroll work and rings and pillars, classical yellow. Now, that paint is not, we don't have paint in that. It's not very, right? You don't control that, but what you do control is the material and the. Now, is your proposal to exactly replicate?
Absolutely.
In the design and
And-
material, everything, exactly what's there.
Absolutely. Trying to salvage and salvage that still looks reasonable and acceptable from the street.
Let's see what you got.
Yeah.
That's And you have, do we have an old original picture from 1938?
Oh,
I think it shows.
Street's copy, unfortunately.
Oh, look at the window, so.
Yeah, that one, the porch is being hidden by
Yeah,
the
you
trees.
can't
The most recent that's found is on Zillow or also through, is it, Marcus? MAR, the Massachusetts Archive, and that's from 1930s, and it's a clear show of the porch.
All right, I'll be the bring us the other, just the plan back. The rendering, yeah, because no, you're not, in your design, there's nothing you found that needs to be changed.
We're not changing anything, we're bringing it right back.
Because that's rare, sometimes, I mean. So all the side, the heights, railing heights, and spindles, all are gonna be identical.
So the column to the right is currently down in the basement and is unpacked so that whoever is going to be remilling or refabricating has kind of a model.
Perfect.
Hopefully we can bring it up to a more sustainable standard versus what was used in the past. We also recognize that on the rooftop, I can't remember the name of the things that allow the water to drain. They're actually inches above the floor of the roof, whether that's from the roof of the porch itself starting to decay or it's just a poor design. It doesn't serve the purpose. And as you see now, it's sagging on both sides, and on both sides, that's where that drain is on the top.
I mean, for the age of the house, it's almost looks like not reasonable.
Yeah.
We see a lot more with the sag with the house that age.
This is a better version.
Okay.
This is a much better
Okay,
version.
so you have picked reasonable pictures to use, and you're gonna use all same stuff. That sounds pretty easy to me. Any questions from the commissioners? I just, let me give it a caveat. I'm gonna vote. If you find that in your construction or whatever, you can't do it exactly the way it is, you have to come back.
I understand.
And tell us
It's also
why.
a court order as well, so we're meeting with the housing court next
Oh,
week
okay.
to update them as well. When we purchased the house, we were unaware that it was under a severe court battle, and so we inherited that unbeknownst.
You bought everything.
Well, under duress, I will say, for record. But we're happy, not happy, but we are.
I love that house.
And we do have the funds secured and we have the appropriate people. Yeah, we're really excited. We're really excited. We want to work with everyone too.
Well, that sounds
My
like.
cousin used to live right next door, I know that.
Hold on. I'll give you a chance in a minute.
So thank you for that. And I intend on coming back to this other situation. We see ourselves as custodians.
Good. Bad with this thing and what a beautiful house. Just the windows. That's no, okay, no more discussion. The open up in public commentary. Okay, hold on.
On the architect section, he calls for the floorboards to be 3¼ inch wide Douglas fir decking. But are they tongue and groove like that?
Good question. Good catch.
I cannot answer that. I can find out and report back, but I cannot answer that. I do. I'm also suspicious that what we have right now is not what that is. Because it has been shored up. To the left is unsafe and very sag oriented. And I know Mike Ferrier, the former owner, he invested X number of dollars to shore it up from a safety perspective because the housing court actually deemed it uninhabitable, and he actually purchased it as a house to be condemned from the city. So he did some work to make it happen, and we are moving forward.
Well, it's make in a motion, make sure that it's not.
I just have one of the, go ahead, jump in. If you go back to the 3D rendering. That 3D rendering does not show these column capitals. Like I see on the elevations, 3D renderings are
It's a good point.
infantile compared to the render.
Yeah, and yes, thank you for that. And maybe also the way it was captured through video, the current porch, the bottom part of the roof has sagged over that, the cap. But it is on all three, and it is on the model that's in the basement to be replicated.
Okay, that's great that you have.
Yeah. Yes, we are very fortunate.
Okay, any other question? No. Okay, we now open this up for public commentary. Is there anyone here who'd like to speak for or against this application for certificate of appropriateness at 14 Fairfield Street to rehab and replace the front porch back to its original 1901 design? Anybody for or against?
Where's
Okay, well, we go one at a time, but you have to give your name for the record and
Cheryl,
you are
neighbor.
for it. Mayor, for it, that's good. Okay, go ahead. Name, and,
My name is Charlie Lee. I live on the same street and I'm for it.
okay, anybody else? This is
Nice to meet you.
anybody else for or against? Go ahead, David. David. Okay, so that's, because it is a great thing. Let me tell you.
We
Commissioners appreciate that as much as anybody.
We've seen it in the brochures, we understand.
So, and no, before I get to the closed public commentary, I entertain a motion to accept the application. Which is the appropriateness, I had to read through the stuff here. 14 Fairfield Street to rehab and replace front porch back to its original 1901 design with some specific. Tongue flooring and the caps. Just to make sure that we address those, okay. So second, discussion on the motion? Well, anything else? Okay. All right, let me call the vote.
I'm sorry, I didn't talk.
I just have a quick question. In terms of paint and colors, what's the next step? Because the whole exterior needs to be painted, not around the trim of the windows.
Color of the windows.
Color.
But not of anything else.
Not the windows, what is that?
Well, historical windows usually dark or black. Or very dark. So. To replicate a historical window, it's gonna be a black.
We were curious about returning it back to its natural cedar all the way around. And in the earlier image, that's what it showed as well.
Unfortunately, we're not where I could take public commentary right now, but thank you.
It's just a question because I've asked them about.
That's a great
Direction, yeah.
question. Dark wood. Is generally, especially if you had a historical picture that you could see that it was a natural darkness to it. But you can see that
That
that's
has a lightness that's in contrast to the color. of the
Yeah.
wood.
But dark is dark for the windows, which is really unfortunate. We're not talking about today, so I don't want to take too much
I
time on it.
understand. I wanna waste your time.
Dark. And the rest of the colors of the house are not in control.
Thank you so much.
And thank you for your patience. So anyway, anybody else? Any other questions? We're all set. I have a motion. All in favor? Aye. Okay, opposed? Bring none of us. Look, indeed.
Mr. Chairman, a party in interest on 29 George has joined us after you last brought that.
Thank you very much. Back up a little bit.
We're on that street.
Go ahead. Look at the recording. 29 George. So 29 George, we had called and you. Okay. Replacement windows and rear porch renovations. Now. We were. And your name and address.
Oh, Jada, my address is 62 Park Avenue. Jada.
And what new do you have to tell us tonight about this?
About the windows, what I did learn from, the people working on it is that they only took the window out, to fix whatever else needed to be fixed, and then they replaced it with the same window, not a newer window. So it's the same window as previous. There's nothing new about that. The only thing new would be the spindles. And I believe we talked about that
Mhm.
last time, which was okay, because they are the same spindles as from before.
I think we were, okay. So there's no replacement of.
You know, there's no replacement of the window, I was told.
Okay, so, now were any of the repairs? The external frame of the window or something that would show to the outside, or did they just fix something inside?
It was inside, I believe, from the
You don't
bottom.
happen to have a picture of it, do you?
No,
All right, so this is the application for the appropriateness to replace the rear porch spindles and we can replace the second and third floor windows.
Yeah.
So no window replacement
no
was taking
window
place.
replacement was taking place.
Okay, you have.
Yes, I'm sorry, just mentioned that, does it specify that on your buildings?
Yeah.
Permit,
Yeah, it does,
that there's no window
There's
replacement?
no replacement.
Okay, because the building department did call that out, so that's why it's before the commission today, so.
Yeah, I just got the information on that a couple of days ago. There was no window replacement at all. The windows were taken out to do the repairs and then put the same windows were put back in.
Okay.
So I have a question just on point of order. So how does the board or commission or building department handle kind of the audit and check on this? It was on the application, they came to us, the petitioner came and said, no, we didn't do that. What's the process on follow-up originating?
So, again, if she's specifying that they just took out windows and put them back, that's resolves, sort of, you guys don't really. I guess it's not back to you guys.
Yeah.
Now. You know, whatever we type up, obviously we'll stipulate that in the certificate. That will go to the building department, and from there, if they have issue, then again, they'll probably send it back to you guys.
So this now is just an application for the spindles, usually. Which I think we covered that last meeting. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
No,
So, but you have permission to,
yeah,
I know it's here, let me just hear what it says, discussing. Well, I don't think there's any issue with who's changing this because if not, there's no change there, then it doesn't matter, I can just review it. You agree with this?
Yeah,
She's like a kind of my parliamentarian.
She did have a letter stating that she can speak on behalf.
Right, what I'm saying is that it's in this application, I don't want to, the vote would just be on spindle replacement. Because no window changes have been made.
Yeah, you can specify.
So let me open this back up to public commentary. Just to, I'm not sure if we did that, so let me do it now. Is there anyone here who'd like to speak for or against the application for certificate of appropriateness? To just replace the rear porch spindles as pictured. I think it's already done, right? It's already
Yeah.
completed.
yes.
Anybody for or against? Go ahead, Dave. I think it's a repair and we should be supporting this kind of effort. Okay, thank you. I agree. Anybody else? For or against? Okay, seeing none, we'll close public commentary. An entertaining motion to accept the application for certificate of appropriateness 29 George Street for the replacement of the rear porch spindles.
Something to add. Would you guys stipulate whether it should be painted or stained? Time frame. You guys don't control color, but I don't know if you want to
Well,
stipulate question, painted or stained.
Well, I think that question was asked and the answer was that you were gonna paint.
Well, then I got to stipulate it in this motion.
Yeah,
You were gonna paint from the map to the post.
yes,
So let me restate the motion, entertain the motion. Accept the application for certificate of appropriateness to replace the rear porch spindle and paint. Painted from extremely paint and match the color.
Yeah.
Your second.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
You opposed? The ayes have it. Aye, okay.
okay, thank you.
But if something changes on the
Yeah.
list or something, you gotta come back.
Yeah, I'll come back, of course. Thank you so much.
Okay, I have 33 A bond. Is an application for certificate of appropriateness. Remove it, replace the window, like the light same side, no structural change, right? Okay.
So my name is Chad. I'm here representing Chad and David. I'm representing 33 Avon. My home address is 346 Root Road in Barry, Massachusetts.
So if I may, Commissioner, we have a letter of authorization for the property owner for Chad to speak on the house.
Perfect, thank you. Yeah, floor is yours.
So customers already done windows with Home Depot previous years. The likeness of the windows downstairs in the first floor, they were a dark brown on the outside. The windows on the second floor are all white on the outside. So we were just looking for confirmation on if we sold them as white on the outside. So we're looking if you want them white on the outside, if we want them dark brown on the outside.
They historically, they should be dark.
Okay, so as we see, it's totally fine. If that's the answer, that's the answer. We'll go about our business. As we can see, those windows are already going to place upstairs and on the third floor.
Yep.
So we're replacing lights for the match what's there now.
Okay, well. The goal is to make them. More historically accurate, not less.
Okay.
And while I can't change any of the windows in the third floor. I think having the first and second floor having same color windows would be more appropriate.
You got it.
Even as the top ones are, and at some point. The homeowner might want to change the third floor window or make or paint that or do something to darken them so that they match. But darkness is the acceptable solution.
That's what we do.
Okay. And is that all it is?
That's it.
Which ones are you replacing?
They're in the back. You can't even see them. So
From any street or from the street?
you cannot see them from the street.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that they're. Normally, when someone makes a statement like that, we will very often go and check and walk around. Because a lot of times you can actually see it from the side streets or back, another street in the back. If it's never ever gonna be visible, this is just for anybody listening, if it's not visible to a public way in any way, we have nothing with that.
This one, Mike, is, I don't know what Cemetery Avenue is, if it's private property.
Yeah, well, anyway, they're open to do it,
I'm easy.
What is? Okay, what do we have here? Replace all the blue vinyl plate, dark brown color, first floor. Right, replace all first floor windows, these are the same model.
The same thing.
Same thing,
The same
right.
thing. Yeah.
Okay. I'm happy with that, 601. Guess I signed it sometime.
Cool. So that's what we'll do. We'll just copy what we have on the first floor.
Sure.
All right. Is that it?
Well, we haven't voted on it yet, or we're not here now. Let's see if we can. Anyway, that's all the things. I'd like to open public commentary. If anyone here like to speak for or against this application for certificate of appropriateness 33 on place. Remove, replace the windows, light size, simply with no structural changes starting home. Anybody for or against? Seeing none, close that public commentary. Get to the. Make sure I'm writing in the right place, Avon, any discussion, okay. Well, that's going to picking up speed. Anyway, we have the motion. It's seconded and there's no further discussion. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Okay, fair. Good night. 137 Forest Park Avenue. All right.
I'm good, thanks. How are you guys? My name's Steve Spengler. I live at 499 Quinnipiac Ave in Rhode Island. The license holder for the solar.
Okay, thank you very much for getting that.
Yeah, sure.
Application on certificate of appropriateness in 137 Forest Park to install rooftop solar. So tell us what's up.
Correct. So we're gonna be doing 10 panels on the right-hand side, the front. So it's a hip house. So on the right-hand side, you've got kind of a gable end with a dormer in it. We're putting panels on either side of the dormer. There will be some visibility from the front right. There's a pretty good size, I think, oak tree there. So, during the summer, it's not as visible.
Well, it's minimal visibility, not just the panels, sometimes the visibility minimum we're looking for is conduits and.
Yep,
Utility boxes and things like that, that just stick out like sore thumbs on.
yep.
On them, yeah, it doesn't look from this aerial view, but it looks like it's kind of the only option.
Yeah, and if you look at the plans, we're on the far back left-hand side. We will have some conduit down that back end because you can see in the picture, it's a finished top floor. Generally, we would go through the attic if possible, but we will not be able to here.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Don't keep, I'm thinking out loud.
Yep, there's a lot of overhang. As you can kind of, if you. Yeah, exactly. That kind of overhang soffit is continual around the back. So we'll go underneath that soffit as much as possible.
And it can be, that could be painted.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. But as we come up
Go ahead, it's a touch screen.
Yeah, no, I won't touch. This is kind of a mimic of what's in back. You can't really see it here. But because there's so much going on in here, we'll probably come through the roof. It's basically right there and hop over to the side to the inverter and all the meters.
Okay.
It'll just be a little hop and so there will be, but it'll be in a way back. It's way in the back. So all those gable ends, it's like Anna Green Gables. They're all, it goes all the way around. It's very similar all the way through.
So it's possible to hide conduit fairly.
Yeah, it'll be up high and way in the back. It's
And
just over the
paintable,
ridge.
so it can be marked, matched in color.
Yeah, and I think actually I was here last time and I had said the same thing, and I'm not sure if it applies. On the roof, I don't know if you can paint the conduit.
Well, the roof.
But you're on the sidewalls and everything, we will.
Right, so I'm, now just describe again, I know you just did, but see, I'm looking at the roof, and I know it's gonna be on the far side,
Yep.
but how are we gonna? I mean, you.
Yeah.
So what are you thinking, just running a conduit along the top of the roof and one to the, or are we gonna run something down under?
Down under, but the one part we are gonna have to come up and over and be visible is this in here to get down, because to drop through and go through. So all this is here to drop down and all around this here, we thought it would be less visible on the roof in that back section. Cause you have to go from one side of the roof to the other, for the equipment.
Yeah, okay. I'm just seeing with all these gables, it almost looks like it could go off the end and down the side and then coming to the right. Is that? See where I'm getting at?
No, I do.
Okay.
It could be.
It
We were
doesn't-
just thinking it was more, but maybe because it's in the back, it doesn't matter. It would be much more visible in here than way up high coming over that way. If that makes.
Yeah. Not picturing it too much. Let me just look at this here. Because I have, now, so just to clarify.
Yep.
I mean, I think I'm hearing it.
Yeah,
I think the minimal is what we're after. So coming from these front panels.
Mm-hmm.
Is it like this? Pictures again.
It is a little bit, yes, exactly. Yep,
Right, but the connection between the two,
will be,
this one and that one,
Is it
as going down
conduit?
there.
No, the conduit is laying on top of the roof.
just here.
Over the top and then down along the roof,
Yeah, exactly.
on the roof.
Right, this is from here to there, just lying on the road.
No, that'll be underneath that, in that,
That's what I was,
yeah, we'll be in that,
but this one is just gonna come.
That's exactly right.
So my question, and it might maybe will make a difference in visibility, but my question is, why can't you go out that way, down that and across?
If you're. We were thinking, and we can adjust it, that if we're
Because
coming
you're
down
far on the far corner.
in these
I
here.
mean, you won't be in that section at all.
No, but it'll look, the back end there looks exactly like
Right,
this.
because it looks just like this front.
Yeah, exactly. So, and we can, I believe. It's just, it would seem more visible in this area than it would be way up high on that roof, but. We can take your feedback on it,
Yeah,
absolutely.
I just, I don't know if I'm Am I making something out of nothing here, guys? Somebody jump in, please.
You just,
That's not you. It's the excuse.
I think you're trying to camouflage it on the eve with the color of the trim.
Right, that's what I'm trying.
And
As
it would
opposed
be in
to,
the back of the property.
It's
as
in the
opposed
back.
to the side, which is-
so neither one of these is really a big deal.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be, if you're doing it all the way in the back. It's not gonna be as visible from the street.
It's all in the back.
So the color of the conduit that you're popping over the crest of the roof, what
Yeah.
color is that?
It is, it's a metal, all of our solar wire on the exterior has to be metal. So it's a silt like,
So-
the gentleman before said, yeah, it's that metallic galvanized look.
And you're not allowed to paint it.
I don't believe we are on the roof, on the
Right,
side.
on the
of
side
it.
you can, no, you can't, I'm pretty sure you can't paint it up, but I'm not
Yeah.
sure why I read that or something.
It has to do with heat, I believe.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah. I'm just seeing, see, I'm looking at, I'm trying to flip this, like I'm looking at the back of the house
Yeah.
right here.
Well, I would agree with you. So if you can't paint the conduit, you're gonna see the conduit go up and over the roof. It would be less visible if you leverage the eave around the
Just
back.
came around the edge. and
Because then you
came
can paint it, because it's on the side of the house, it's not on the roof. You
Okay.
can see it as much anyway.
I mean, my preference would be that.
To go up
Yeah,
and through.
to come, around the back as opposed to straight down over the roof.
Okay.
This is. Commissioner clear. Just suggestion.
Yeah, well, and I mean, that's what we're, take your feet.
Less visible.
Well, the goal is minimum visibility.
Yep,
Mainly for the hardware too. This hardware already looks like it's gonna be minimum visible the way back of the house and that side with all the goings on over there.
yep, no, absolutely.
But if, I'm not necessarily against the way you're doing it. I think what I'd like your first option to be is to come down.
Go, some type,
See the stack and just don't know if it's gonna.
I agree.
I mean, they're not, the works are different, so. See the space here versus the space there. Okay, so do we want it to be that way? Question is that, do you want it to be that way? Because we have to tell them. Specific, if we say do that if you can, then it doesn't matter that we're okay in it any way they put it.
His answer was that he will see,
Okay.
depending if the stack is really located exactly on the drawing.
And just to be clear, will you want me to come back? The customer definitely, we're in solar season. And so if I'm waiting a couple more weeks on that, I know they'll be less happy then.
Well,
But then I get
have
that.
them come in,
No, that's fair. I'm just asking to,
I think you're doing everything right. You're.
We try.
What you're trying to do sounds like you're trying to fit into I mean, it's not extensive guidelines you have. It's just
Absolutely.
minimum visibility. The hardware's in the back and good with that. If you can do it.
but that panel that you're talking about is very hard to see. If I'm gonna give a counter argument on that and try and gain some,
Well, I think
insight.
Al's question was more about should it be in the other place just for snow and other reasons, not necessarily just the aesthetics of it.
Well, from a building, and I was a builder for 30 years. The snow that is on that panel is gonna slide off much more quickly
Yeah,
than if
sure.
you're on an asphalt shingle.
Right.
Oh, definitely will. Those solar panels, they melt the snow much quicker than a regular roof, especially if that is that size overhang. It's gonna have cold air underneath it and the snow will stay on the asphalt shingle much longer. That's my.
I don't have an issue.
I'm okay with it because you're not gonna see both sides at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm more concerned about the conduit. I think you answered that.
Yep.
So anybody else? Okay. Let me, back to the public commentary. Then we'd like to speak for or against the application for a certificate of appropriateness 137 Forest Park Ave to install rooftop solar.
I'm against it. That
Your
picture's
name-
old.
your
That
name.
tree, Cheryl Llewellyn, 47 Riverview Street. The picture's old. That tree's gone. That's in front of the house.
Okay.
Been gone for 4 years now, if not more.
And you're against.
I know you say it's going to be in the back. I didn't even know we were allowed to have solar. Solar is only a seasonal thing. It's just, I'm against solar period as it is in the.
Unfortunately, that's your comment. That's, I have to limit it to the comment on the paper here.
It's fine.
And you just said it well, David.
None,
David,
no solar.
David,
David Gaby, 1105 Worthington Street, working on community solar. This is inefficient and architecturally inappropriate.
anybody else for or against? You want to? No? Okay,
Come
I'm
on.
gonna.
Dennis Frosky.
Yep.
Here's all. 50 years old.
This is a better arrangement than the one you approved in my house.
Well, it's there, believe me, I, our approving solar. It's a love-hate relationship. And, but here, is this a for or against?
Four.
Okay.
It's better by far.
Okay, thank you very much. Anybody else? Close the public comment. Any other questions with the commissioners? Okay, I'm going to entertain a motion to accept the application for a certificate of appropriateness of 13740 Park Avenue, store rooftop solar with the conduit. And the eaves kind of.
Yep.
Under the eaves, painted to match. With the utility on the far corner. And that's all I can do. So move. Okay, so second on that one? Second. Any discussion on that one? Discussion, hearing none, let me call the vote. All in favor? Aye. Aye. Okay, yeah, I have it, I mean, honest. But just remember, I think it's a minimum visibility.
Yep. We're going to do this here and the line. So I want to keep it.
You just remember, like you've heard me say this to several other people, that if you change that, if you something, when you start to work, if something doesn't fit what we just approved.
Yeah.
You do have to come back and tell us.
Yeah.
It's not tell us, ask us.
Yeah.
Yep, but you're okay.
Awesome.
And just so you, I'm talking to.
Yeah, of course.
That, yeah, solar is a tough one, and, we take one at a time, and we're just looking for minimum visibility. So next is,
Thank you, guys.
43 Ingersoll Road. This is an application for a certificate of hardship. Name and address for the record?
My name is Matt Beisler. My partner is Khalees Smith. She wasn't able to come in tonight. She has work. And the address is 43 Ingersoll Road here in Springfield.
Thank you. So this is the proposed change, window properly installed without water damage spraying to your wall, rooftop roof shingles, repair gutter trim. With one window damage, replace damaged vinyl windows and equivalent double hung vinyl windows, keeping size substantially similar. My first question, I wouldn't be exactly the same.
Can you be more? I'm afraid I don't quite understand.
It just says equivalent double hung window, keeping size substantially similar. If you take it out of a frame and put it back in, it'd probably be the same size window. It's just really technical.
Yes, sir. I'm was writing to try and follow the guidelines as far as I understand that. If I misspoke.
No, no,
Or miswrote.
nobody knows how to do this the first time.
Yes, sir.
Nobody does it. I'm not certain, but you can call me certain, but Vinnie's okay. Or commissioner or chair or whatever you want. This is where we just try to work it out.
Yes, sir.
So people have to do.
No, yes, that's cool.
My wife calls me sir. She's on the way. Well, here's a story I'll tell you something, but we're not in a public meeting. Anyway, this is, because this is, you're replacing vinyl windows that are already installed in the house when you bought it.
Yes, from my understanding with, talking with Mr. Allen and.
That's an idea.
Hello, Mr. Allen. Nice to meet you, sir.
You want to talk to Evan?
Yeah, I know, yeah.
Make a show.
That, the prior owners in approximately 2011 put in, they were supposed to put in wood windows, they put in vinyl windows.
That's the decision.
And yes, and then apparently none of that ever happened. Mr. Creed didn't do those things.
So none. Okay. So he did none of these.
Well, I don't,
Three, one over one windows, 6/6 would be permanently fixed to the exterior. And 1/1 window left to the front door, 8/8, so you don't have grids of 6/6 and 8/8, I think.
the picture that you showed from Google Maps is what the house looks like now.
Okay.
That is what we currently have. And as with a lot of things at the house, the prior owners did it cheaply and poorly.
Cheaper, better.
Yes, so we are trying to recover from that.
Now, the new windows will be white or dark color appropriate to district frames and be repaired, replaces necessary, staying substantially similar to existing cellular frame, replacing damaged frame, street facing window, better windows, equipped with wood frame, improved flashing in your cab, add to the window, and clad around windows. Replacing shingles with vinyl. Backboard, across the front facade. Adding trim along the edges, so replacing dormer shingles with vinyl. So this vinyl is just the front?
Well,
Or are you doing a whole lot?
ideally, we would like to re-side the entire home. It's, I don't know that we can afford to do it in one go.
Okay, now that is the siding in bad condition?
Yes.
You're not on yet. Not unless he invites you up and wants you to speak on his behalf. But which is, kind of invite me if you want. But he has to, go ahead.
Well, if
Yeah, he said he'd ask
to speak to.
So, yes, I mean, it doesn't show very well.
Sorry, can you give us the address for the record?
Michael Strasky, I live across the street at 15 Ingersoll Road, so
Okay.
this is what we get to see. However, this picture isn't very recent. There's substantial damage
Okay, that
to
was my
the-
question.
to every shingle essentially on the front and the majority of shingles on the rest of the house.
Okay.
They're very, very old. They'd be difficult, if not impossible, to replace on a spot by spot basis.
Of course.
So the whole exterior must be.
Yeah, that's, my
Recut.
question was, is there? Okay, you don't have to go big.
I submitted a couple that were included with the application. This is the one.
I don't have it, it's.
Yeah,
Oh, there you
you can see from that, there's one of that corner that goes out, that one right there. Where you can see that
Okay, I got you.
water's getting behind it, it's basically wrecked that whole wall.
Now, the roof looks fairly new, is that, did you do that or something else?
We came and asked permission
I thought we-
last year, I think December-ish. To redo the roof because the prior owner, Mr. Cleat, had again installed it very poorly.
So I can see that. Now, the decorative, are you gonna try to replace that or duplicate that?
If that is what the committee would like, or we can improve it with something more appropriate to the district, more.
Well, it's not, I mean, the house is not a historic.
Yes, sir.
But it's in a historic.
Yes.
So. And kind of vinyl siding, just straight vinyl or something that mimics what were you thinking?
Well, straight vinyl siding would be the most economical option. There are vinyls that mimic wood grain.
Well, we've seen some that mimic exactly what you have, but they're more expensive.
That product is essentially cost prohibitive for this project on this house.
Right.
It's okay, I'm doing too, some kind of.
I included some pictures to.
Prior owner, just read the justification cards for hardship.
And that's what.
Years for windows, steep style, this would. Improper installation, product damage, window siding, interior wall, potential frame damage. Contractors recommend switching to vinyl. As replacing their machines with new wood shingles is much more expensive, given the extent of the damage, it's still bidding estimate price in comparison, which one decushion wood shingles is substantially more expensive. Up to 5 times more than vinyl siding for the near factory.
I apologize for the paucity of information. It's
Well,
been very difficult
As I said, nobody, the first time, you learn how to do this, but detail is important to us, our. To what we vote. And sometimes we can't, and when we can't, we'll ask you to go back and get something, bring it to it. So here's the vinyl, this is. This type of vinyl.
The contractor that did come, that not only came out, but then actually followed up with an estimate and more information. Which makes him unique from the several other people that have come and then never talked to us again. He says he uses mastic siding, which is a polygem brand, I believe. That's their straight siding. That company also has a line that does wood grain, which I also sent along. They do a vinyl shake. I haven't, yeah, I haven't explored that with me.
Back up on, I think that's the, right there.
I believe that is their vinyl shape. I have not had a chance to explore that with the contract.
That's certainly a difference.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Here's my problem, is I want all the commissioners to give their opinions in there. I mean, this is not a historic house.
No, sir.
But we don't want it, we want it to look nice in a historic district. But it never had historic windows, never had historic siding. Well, actually, the shingles could be considered historic siding if you want to. So, you know, I don't want the burden to be on a house that's just an average cape that was built in probably 1955.
48.
48, first house I know, 40. Look, just like that, built in 48. But, you know, we don't want it also to just be a white flash where everything is pure vinyl, just when they drive down the street and historically not white. So
we can color. We would have no problem at all of doing a darker color. My partner, she quite likes like an autumn orange or something foresty.
I love the orange part.
Well, I must say, thank you.
I thought you were gonna say dingle. Dingle, right, for like, yeah, it's gonna be dingling colors.
So for the board's information, the house next door, literally next door.
Yes.
Is a different style. It's a split front colonial, but it had siding, vinyl siding approved years ago. And what Matt would like to install now on his home is essentially consistent with what is right on the next door neighbor's house.
I know that,
A good quality.
unfortunately never, even though we might have done that, my name might be on that piece of paper too. As a rule, we don't make a ruling because of what the neighbor has on there.
In terms of the consistency with the neighborhood, and I look at both houses, and Matt and Khalees have been doing yeoman's work.
Yeah.
Improving the condition of this house inside and outside visually and so.
And right, this seems to be this is in one of the string of houses that are built in the 50s or 40s.
Correct, there are 3 in a row, there was the brick, Matt's
And
house
this
is
is
in the middle.
small one.
Correct, and you remember one of the larger historic structures burned to the ground, it had been on 2 lots, they divided into 3 and put these houses in the late 40s. Correct.
Right. Yeah, I have,
We're catching up on a lot of preventative maintenance that wasn't done. A lot of, so those 2 windows you can see in the corner, also that window is completely shot.
now these are vinyl already,
Yes, yeah, across the board.
and
side.
have you thought, is white what the proposed is for windows?
I included brochures for, again, the contractor said they usually start with a silver line window, which is an Anderson, sort of their base one. The V1 is white, the V3 has dark
Now. Sorry, right, it looks different.
Yes.
Uh,
I believe there are, historic colors that are available that you could choose from. With the dark windows, then you would be, and some, you're thinking some wood grain in the
Yeah.
line of.
They can,
Yeah,
exactly, differences,
Yeah.
there may be a number of colors.
Right.
That with dark windows would make that house look really.
Yes.
So there is stuff with the grain that would make it look like wood, and there is obviously your product that looks like a shape. That would give you the same kind of usability.
Do these windows have, these are, storm windows on them? Or no?
I don't think that's- I think they went through the cheapest possible option.
Okay. Alright. Well, so what we gotta, decide is. You want to add something?
I just want to say, I understand that our house is not a historical house. I also understand that we live in the historical district and, like with fixing the roof and improving the house, we want to help improve it so that it helps improve the neighborhood. I know it's a little that dilapidated, we went down for them. I know our neighbors would also like it to be better.
Yeah, well, you got one neighbor who already feels like you made it better, so
Yeah,
you're obviously.
you're
You're- That's not, yeah, that's not the issue.
We would, I also like a dark, wood equivalent color. In the house, so we would definitely be open to that, it's like you said, lighting and fine with it, come down to the see.
I think any of the colors that I'm looking at the sheet that was submitted by the contractor, any of these colors would probably be acceptable to the board for vinyl color. I assume like a darker wood or darker color. And then darker frames on the windows would be necessary to be consistent with.
I think the texture of the vinyl is what, and I know that shape, the ones that look like shapes of. For the range for everything for you.
It's quite expensive.
But there are these that have a wood grain.
We would be happy to do that.
Well, some of these, careful what you're saying. I mean, you know, they get expensive, the more detail on that, the more expensive. But, you know, something you can see up here, there's, at least would look like some kind of wood.
Yes.
I mean, you probably already saw this because of the heat. But that's what we're looking for. The hardship. Let's see. This really doesn't, this doesn't really, what the hardship doesn't really say what the hardship is. It just says there's damage and it has to be repaired. It's the hardship is suggests that it's pain.
Yes, we, the estimate I have was just for. The replacement of the window.
Yeah.
Which is labor intensive enough that. The materials aren't necessarily a huge part of it. But, contractor suggested. Was switching to vinyl. With that whole front section. And fix the other windows, fix.
They have a project, they have a repair.
Yeah,
Right.
well,
Yeah.
Okay, so you're open to dark color window,
yes, sir.
and wood. Grain, and simulated wood grain. Signings.
Yes.
Okay, is there any other questions, you commissioners?
Presumably at the corners that. Send out to our neighbors' house. Fixture. Corner. Thank you. I don't know.
Yeah.
Which it doesn't currently have, and then, which is also that I wanted to this corners and bench there.
Well, you guys get your house back. It's your meter right on the front.
Yes, yes.
That's one, that's the one.
That's
That's electric up there. Yeah, it's
right on the front.
And then the gas is right on the other corner.
Yeah, okay, that just strikes me as a problem. I have no other questions. Anybody else? Okay, we can put this back to the letter. Open this to public commentary, we start with Mr. Albert. From James Bill, dear Commissioner, the right in opposition to the request of the owners of 43, road replacement on Cedar Shaker vinyl siding. This is a change of style to the 1948 post-war suburban home. First one was Rena W. Pepper. Vinyl is inappropriate, it's local historic district and not house listed on the National Register of Historic Places. One window of the dormer that has been replaced without permission with a window of inappropriate size and color, further replacement is what's meet commission standards. The original picture window was replaced without permission sometime between 2007 and 2015. There's some info housing, of course, this is a good example of it, needs to be respected as all other houses. They are all historically determined by the commission and the National Register. Thank you. Okay. That's a June. Anybody here would like to speak for or against this application during the road?
Yeah, I'd like to, I live on, down on the corner of Ingersoll. There's been a lot of talk about the house not being historic, that's false. The house is part of the demolition of the house that we were just referenced in the 40s. And the rebuilding of the Tapley family moving from State Street over to Ingersoll, that's part of our history. As we inherited the character of these houses, we inherited the correct siding and so forth. Now, what I would suggest is that we have a very conscientious young family attempting to make this house better. And we should be supportive of that. We have someone who has violated a prior agreement, not the present party. Someone else who has violated the prior agreement and done things that should not have been done.
You gotta get to the point.
My point is that we need to structure, we need to dig ourselves out of this kind of a hole. And that what we should be doing is doing things that make the situation better while we can, and then get it back the way it should be in the future. So I would suggest,
For or against?
I'm not for or against, I'm for parts of it and against parts of it.
Okay.
I'm for under hardship, replacement of the windows with competently engineered windows of the same or similar size.
Okay.
I'm against the siding. I believe that cedar shingles are readily available and they should be used. If we're going to allow under hardship vinyl siding, I would strenuously argue against the wood texture.
Okay.
Which duplicates a kind of a rustic feeling and it's not appropriate.
Good. Anybody else for or against?
I'm for it.
Okay. Nay, you gotta give me.
Cheryl, 47 Riverview Street.
Thank you. You're against it.
Yeah.
Okay. You're for that. Thank you very much.
Stephen,
There's one.
you have no floor with it? Floor?
Okay, thank you. Anybody else for or against?
You
have
have
any more? You have any more?
May I?
Let me just go through. Sorry, Terry.
I'm Harry Seymour on 68 Washington Road, and I want to speak for it.
Thank you. Okay, anybody else? Can we close the public commentary? You want to have it?
If I could, in the letter that was read, there was a comment about the window in the dormer. Could you
Yeah.
repeat that, please?
I sure can. It says, one window in the dormer has been replaced without permission with a window of inappropriate size and color. Further replacement windows must meet commission standard. Okay, I don't know what that means.
I'm not sure when that replacement took place.
We actually, so I think you can see it in this picture because it is an older picture from when we first bought the house. We came as part of the roof. We asked for permission to replace that window. It was set so low that it was accumulating water damage and the frame was rotting to that. So we had requested and got permission to put in a smaller window to move the frame out of.
Okay. Is that what he's talking about? This was. Is there any other dormer? Any other dormer?
No, it's that one in the
I think what Jeff was referencing was it had been done between 2007 and 2015, like prior.
The picture window was replaced sometime between 2007, 2000.
Yeah, I don't think he was saying.
I'm
Saying prior to stating.
So, but just for clarity. How long ago now?
2020, no, 2022,
Okay,
year and a half.
a year and a half. So you
November
came to us for,
Yes,
okay. All the other windows, you're gonna be replacing them in kind with what's there, right?
would be, replacement, new construction, vinyl windows, yes.
Double sash, but with dark frames.
Well, why you can Dave, you know you can't do this, please. Don't say anymore, okay, right now. So, but. We need. They shouldn't be new construction windows, they should replace them, unless you're, so they're taking everything out, coming from the outside in.
I apologize for my ignorance,
Okay.
when
It's okay.
he said the cartridge new construction, I took that to mean brand new as opposed to reclaimed from.
No, I mean, a replacement vinyl windows is designed to fit in the frame, they measure the frame, they cut it, they build it and put it in, it's all new window, all new frame, all new, but it fits in the frame that's there.
Yes,
Construction, they attach it from the outside.
I misspoke, I apologize.
This one is not supposed to know. That's why the contractors, we like to have contractors give us more information. Now, I didn't know. Well, I didn't know the historic district, but this says it's in the historic register.
That is news to myself. See, I was an auditor.
All right, so I'm gonna need a have my commission start doing on this because. It's in a historic district. It is not a historical design. It's not historical. But we still want it to mimic in colors and things. Now, I'm not necessarily opposed to taking this one at a time. Having the windows get corrected and then have you research other potential signs that you might be able to afford and come back and see us. I'm leaning that way right now. Because it's not a bad point. But it's not, you can't, I'm not gonna make it a historic house, a house that isn't technically historic by trying to mimic a house that was built 100 years before. But color means, how you address your house in the neighborhood makes a difference to every other house around you. That's what we're trying to find, that thin line between the two, where it's all in the last. Those windows were agreed to be put in with different mullions and stuff, is that correct? This is one, and then evidently they didn't do it that way, but that's not you. So. Go ahead, Commissioner, I'm already saying.
So if Mr. Google could zoom back away from this, and let's look at the streetscape. That's really the issue. It has nothing to do with whether it's a historic housing, it's the streets.
Right.
So if you look, and then you start looking the other way, what you're looking at is sort of the charm of a cottage kind of environment. Look, and you get the little bricky cottagey kind of thing, and you go a little farther. And then it starts to get a little bit more pomp and circumstance after that. So my concern for the homeowner is if I remove the siding the way it sits, you're gonna begin to lose that little cottagey kind of charm. Even though it would be less to deal with construction. So this is what happens when we take that off and we make it just straight siding. Now it's not that little detail kind of thing that's on your house. Yes. So in some people that you're gonna lose that thing that a lot, if we were gonna sell it, I think it'd be more of interest to people who are looking for that kind of look. That's what I'm thinking as an architect. But I think the idea of separating windows and siding and giving you time to really think about the siding might not be a bad idea. But
it really comes down to, I think, what's around it, not what it is. And what's around it is a cottage kind of environment on the street. They're smaller. They're cute. And in that size and so forth, you wouldn't put 8-inch clapboard or 8-inch straight siding. You wouldn't put heavy corner boards. It just wouldn't look right. So that's why I think they use these particular types of shades. It really does make a very big difference. Is there somewhere here that says that here? Says the extra specific window.
We had two different options, right?
Um,
On windows, and you had two different prices.
yeah, it's, as I said, the silver line, we want, just comes in a bright color, with a white and, beige, the B3, double tone, I'd say darker colors. Brown, it's
Figure out what they're about, of course. Yes, my other thought was, I'm willing to bet that those exterior walls are not very well insulated.
I think you would probably be right.
Right. So if the siding came off and we replace it, now is the time to foam into the cells of the wall. So that it's warm instead of cold.
Yeah.
Then you don't have to go inside, then you don't have to ruin the inside by drilling a bunch of holes and you never splits out.
Yeah. Or at least the repair of that.
Something.
We did say,
Anything around the windows.
yes.
That's where you're gonna get a lot of cold air coming in.
Yeah, I got it. Insulation, putting in.
That's a talk.
A good seal there is.
Is there, I think you spoke of, and there seems to be continual damage behind the wall, the outside wall. Is that your concern if you get this off for a while?
Yes, there was a picture from earlier, that's underneath the window on the interior, where the water is coming in, and soaking on the inside. So we definitely would like to do the repair sooner rather than later to help mitigating the damage. And we strongly suspect that once you it's up that wall, there's a beam that's probably been rotting from the top for some time.
I'm gonna try to reel this back. I'm trying to solve a problem, these ones that are on the piece of paper. It's all in goodwill, so I understand that.
Yes.
Yeah, because you open up a wall and outside, you find no insulation and probably water damage at some time. Hopefully it's not from the roof. That's all, hopefully they should alleviate most of your water issues. So what we're looking at is the B3 series window. And separating it from the siding. That's where I think we're leaning right now. I think maybe that you should. Maybe the price, see any other options on the side. I mean, we can vote up or down with it today. Are you willing to give that a little more time? Another meeting? Next one's in July.
I'm certainly willing if that will help.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I think what we're asking you to do though is to seriously look at a different kind of appearance on the siding. So that it continues to have that cottage look, which would mean a more expensive type of look with vinyl. It wouldn't, and you ought to compare cedar.
Or a replacement, that's what we're replacement.
The cost in cedar, when you're comparing them, may not be that much.
So when we're referring to cottage look, are we talking about the vinyl like the wood grain or specifically the one vinyl that is shaped like shakes? Is that?
Yeah, or either cedar or more shaped like. um, The one I was talking about, I was going probably, I was gonna try to draw a line in the middle. But that would just make it a straight, Al drew, you know, he drew a picture which kind of makes it clear, just makes it look like a straight house.
um, 4 feet, 3 feet, 2 feet by 4 feet long piece of vinyl looks exactly like that siding.
The no shake. So I did,
It's at Home Depot. Right off the shelf.
and I sent
There's
along,
no contractor can get contracted pricing.
I did send along to Mr. Mastriani, just a screenshot of 3 different materials, just basic vinyl. The vinyl shake and then cedar shakes. I'm not
Yeah, I think I did.
I'm not a contractor, if we, just the materials to the exterior house is roughly 4,000 square feet. I believe the vinyl was about 2,500.
Yeah.
Vinyl shake was 8-ish. And then cedar shakes was, right, that was the screenshot.
It's up.
Higher.
Yeah, so, Um, Well, this is where I lean, so we gotta move up, we gotta leave this. I would like you to investigate sizing and prices, because I can't, it's not really a hardship unless you're actually showing us what it really is.
Understood.
I mean, no vinyl's cheap, that's why people do it, but you know, that looks cheap too. And there's good, deep, better vinyl that will mimic, you know, somebody will drive down the street and say, that house looks nice. They'll even say that if you just put flat all white on there, but I wouldn't even that anyway. So that's where I'm going, I'm kind of going right now. Do we separate these two?
What I'm showing you is not vinyl.
What is that?
It's a shingle.
Oh, well, he's something to investigate.
Right.
But I also think if we separate the two, the windows from the siding,
Well, we have to talk about the windows tonight. Right?
I think we do, well, he's,
And
the V three
tonight,
area,
something
dark
we-
color.
We would have to investigate and come back on the 18th, that.
I think I can certainly do that. I'm not entirely sure that I'll be able to get contractors to come out to give you a professional opinion.
Well, they don't have to, just like that when they come, it's like.
No, I didn't mean specifically here. I mean even to the property. I've called a number of people say, hey, I will pay you to come look at the house and get an estimate.
Everybody's
got-
everybody's got to go more.
Yeah.
So what are you trying to tell us? That you think that you can't get the windows done because you can't give them a deal for the windows and siding?
No, I'm,
He says that he can get them to come up for different.
To look at different,
The materials that are looking at to be investigated.
Right.
So,
I
do
will-
you think there's enough time between now and the 18th of July to get a handle on the pricing as well as various materials?
you leave from work, so I'll certainly have some free time.
I'm just sitting on my porch with my feet up, so. I'm glad.
Thank you.
So we can continue the entire file for them. Or we can separate.
but do you want us to look at just the windows? And make a decision on the windows tonight? Or do you want us to wait?
I guess if we can make a decision on the windows tonight, then I can come back with more information on siding options.
Details are kind of, especially in hardships. We don't, we don't play hardship, we just have to know what it is, what it's made of. So, right now, we've had some significant public commentary. You already have agreed that the V3 series of a dark color is the window you can use. Do I have any reason to talk about the mullions in this one? They have to be external. You probably didn't get a price for that.
Are they one of the ones?
Well, he's done, well,
That's what's in the picture, but the house itself, I think, is just one.
Well, let's just look one more time.
Do you have any grades diameters or are they all clear?
There's the one open one is what's current, but there were, I believe, grids previously. Which is
So
why
they're not there,
they're not there now.
and this owner. Has no.
We didn't take them out.
No, you didn't take it. And how long ago did they, was it taken? So, okay, so we're looking at one of those things. I would entertain a motion that was, with this. To, set the application for, be under hardship. Not a hard time separating sometimes, right? I entertain a motion to accept the application for a certificate of appropriateness for the 43 Ingersoll Road to install the B3 windows in dark color. One over ones. So moved. Second. Discussion on the motion. So what we have, we're concerned with the exterior finish is going to be dealt with later. These are all fit in existing frames, so it'll be the same size. You, that one upstairs, you asked for permission. So that one's okay. So there's no details I'm missing here. B3 dark in color.
Sure. So here's a photo from 2007, so, you know, okay.
Wow.
Sure, the windows, didn't they?
Right. Well, not all, it's. I can't see what they really are. I mean, that picture window is a whole different thing.
Yeah.
The other ones I can't really tell. It looks like they're. This one by the meter is one over one.
It looks like the screen's up.
When you look behind it, yeah, it's hard to tell. So I'm not. I don't think that we can address that. I think one over one dark colored B3 is. Okay, so no.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. No, I just said this is.
Just say that's from 2011.
2011, yeah. Oh, okay, anyway, that motion is on the floor, and we are in discussion on that motion. Is there any other discussion on the motion? No. Okay, we just call the vote. Let me just write it here, so you just read those. Okay, all in favor? Aye. Okay, unanimous. Okay, for the windows. And I've entertained a motion to continue the application of 43 Ingersoll Road for the siding to the July 18th. So move. Second. Any discussion on that motion? All in favor? Aye. You opposed? Okay, so you got it again on the 18th. You telling us different sizes, prices, things that should be this. Understand the windows. So I'm going to do 3 and then dark color.
Sort of the price comparisons, that's not sufficient. We need more detail for specific ones.
And different materials. Yeah, you gave this vinyl, there's the vinyl, that's material, which other material might be just. See what you can see that might better mimic what's there, or actually replace what's there. At least look at that. Understand, right? And you'll see that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, 134 cap.
Maritza Legal, I'm firma, working for City of Springfield. I'm just here to continue with
It's just a review.
that's just the one item, the rest of the house is the preview approval.
Right, so this, what we're on now is just the aluminum to be repaired, replaced with vinyl.
Yes, the last conversation I had with our senior program manager, there will be no replace, it's only repair. The 16 aluminum because cost of replace and put our original is too high for the federal funding. We will be over the CPA, we can know, or with that one that was beneath prepare the material to run down.
Just for the picture notice, we did provide, on these things, review from our historical consultant, Sharon Walsh. You see, is that's in there, and as well as in your back, trying to break for comments on the matter. I'll say it's not mine, but I'll find it in a minute. Just in case. Yeah, I want to work it. Yeah. Looks full of, looks like it should be in front of the house. Yeah. This one. Her comments, I go sleeves. On the edge of the siding. Exposed to the exterior wood trim to be repaired, replaced in kind of Massachusetts. The poly aluminum side here removed for treatment, repair or replace in kind that the original fiber size and trim remains the same. As this was character defining architecture feature of the building exterior. Aluminum is a profile of the original copper, exteriors and distinctive trim detail that are after organizations. The alternative report views a suitable replacement material restored to copper trim. For the National Park Service, under particular circumstances, for the substitution of side trim to the clay, be wood fiber, polymer, and fiber cement. And minimum polymer composite, the least preferable to remove the aluminum side and replace it by. So what are you able to do under those comments? What are you able to
Under
do?
the fundings, we can repair the 16 aluminum the way they are, or that we can put a vinyl. Well, I know according to the historical, we can not put a vinyl, or we can use the material they our recommendation.
Okay. Is the vinyl been a little bit removed already?
Just one of the part, if you see the picture of what we have, the previous of we have the fundings available for them. They have the aluminum here and that's the vinyl. The white one, they already have vinyl in the house.
And under the aluminum is.
Is the wood, is the, we don't know how, as the material is, we can follow to get change it and use it under. We put it over, look.
So you haven't filled any of the vinyl off to see what's underneath? There's not a loose piece anywhere that,
Well, we can probably send our inspector to see if we can do it. And see how it's.
I'm just curious, usually there's a piece somewhere.
The thing is, the fundings to get created. Explore how bad it is inside. As it's out of the.
But doesn't the funding, isn't it based on the historic reproduction of the property?
Well, no, because that one is
Why
for,
would it penalize you for doing it, trying to do it in the wood that's.
that funding what we have is the ARPA ones, not the treasure one. There will be limited cap of CPA. And sometimes the cost is over. The what we do, is we do the whole house, it has to be under CPA.
So which part? So shouldn't be executed on.
Well, it just matters what she's gonna do, it doesn't matter on the funding side. All we care about is how the repair's gonna get it, right?
That's what I'm saying, why are, we should be considering. Our job is to get the exterior repaired correctly.
Yeah, exactly.
And I agree with Shannon's assessment. But have you looked into any other sides other than vinyl yet? Have you Do you have any other prices or any other
No,
estimates
no,
or any
we-
other?
The,
Siding.
the first thing we want to do is replace aluminum. To leave this in the same way we are right now. No disturbing at all.
Okay.
We don't want it to be replaced anything, you wanna repair whatever this is.
Okay, so you just want to leave it alone.
Yeah, you want it,
All right, you certainly-
just leave it like there.
That's the option we have, I think. When, if I'm missing something, you know. No, I mean, if you're just gonna repair it, then you're just gonna repair it. It really doesn't have anything to do with that. If you're just repairing.
Yeah,
It's
that's
when you
right.
change it. Yeah. So you'd rather focus that money on other parts of the house.
Yeah, more the stage being covered in
Than
that's
the exterior. Okay, good use.
But they
Okay.
go on base of you.
So what is it that what do we need here?
So they're, from what I gather, they're stating that they're going to keep the aluminum
Yes,
siding.
yes,
Change
that's what
it,
I
design,
prepared.
okay, just simple repairs. So that, would that be an adverse impact? Yes or no?
If they just keep it that way?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's not gonna be no more adverse impact than just. Right? I mean, in a technical sense, I might be able to argue that it is an adverse impact to leave it that way, but our purview isn't that. We can't, yeah. You know, our purview is if it's changed, what we do.
Mhm.
Is it adverse if they change it? So I can't really call it adverse because it exists already. But at any point, if somebody, whoever owns it after, whoever does what, they can't do anything to it without coming here anyway. I think, is this one?
Well, this is a National Register property.
It's a national register, that's, I don't know all the addresses. So.
Actually, we, according to is the funding is the homeowners, the self, yes, they can do whatever, but because it's the federal funding,
Right.
we have to go to all the channels.
Right. Okay. Has somebody looked at the roof? It's not on the piece of paper today.
I think that's, it's a previous approval, right?
What do you think?
My question is, they have their tight with funding,
Oh,
I would start with the roof to make sure it's not leaking.
yeah, well, this is, unfortunately, this is all there, we gotta decide, there's no adverse impact, and just leave it alone. And to not do anything, correct? They're just gonna repair. So I think there is no adverse impact of leaving it alone. Anybody else? Agree. Okay, so I entertain a motion to indicate that there's no adverse impact to leaving the exterior as it is. So, second. Okay, discussion. Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Aye. Opposed? Opposed? Okay, that passes. Okay. Okay. Okay, we have 101 State Street. We've got mechanics.
So we spoke with a historic consultant, they're still trying to get a letter from the property owner to represent on your behalf. You did state that if you guys had particular questions, and again, we did look at the image of the structure, if you guys had anything that you had reservations to, just put it into writing and send it to him, and then he would go over that with
Who's suggesting this?
this is the historic consultant for, I believe, Verizon, or I forget which, I think it's Verizon.
So if they want us to do the research and then get back to them and have them decide, I don't think so. It may come. It'd be like me going up to these people's houses and decide, you know. Let me look first and then come up. It doesn't work. It does work out with me, it might work out some. Okay, what do we have,
So are we continuing that then? Do we need a
what
on the 101 State Street?
106 review?
Yeah.
What would they be bringing? Do they have to?
Again, we do have renderings of what the antennas would look like on the roof. I think there was just questions in regards to maybe size, mass, and dimension. I can't recall. But
Well, it's nice to imagine what it would look like. I mean, it's hard to see something in a one-dimensional picture and I don't know what's there and what they're adding. And
But there was discussion about the fact that that one is right on the corner, can be seen from the street.
That's right. There was a-
That was a real concern.
Or maybe can that particular unit be placed elsewhere?
yeah, or is it existing? Because I did look down the street and you can see one on the building today. Is that the one? I don't know. Are they gonna add another one? I don't know. I think that's the question. It's unclear what's really changing. Yeah. I mean, I know architects think in a one-dimensional thing, but kind of a simple thing. I need to know if you're gonna see it or not. And since we're all about what we see, that's right. Not what the thing is.
So if we can continue, yeah, we'd be happy to. But entertain a motion to continue the 101 State Street, section 106 review to the 18th. So move. Second. Any discussion on that motion? All in favor? Aye. Okay, that passes. 84 Westminster Street, renovations to roof gutter chimney.
85.
85. Keep it around. No, it's just my eyes are getting blurry. One day, better than one day. And it's not very great. I don't do that stuff anymore.
So I just want to state that this item plus the next two are all CPA, Community Preservation Act funded. So they're all applications of non-applicability. The only reason that they're before you guys is because they are receiving those public funds and just for transparency purposes, they're before you guys.
We have to issue it. Not a letter thing.
No, this is just, I mean, it's a
It's not
certificate.
applicability, so.
Yeah, certificate of applicability.
Okay, you're on.
Hi, God bless everybody. My name is Cindy Albino. I live at 85 Westminster Street. So some of the things that I want to do on the house, the roof, repair the roof, the gutters and the chimney, the fireplace. It's like slowly deteriorating, and then recently, the beginning of spring, and then there was a bird inside of the fireplace and it just been tapping on it. And it's just breaking it up, so it's dug a hole. Yeah. So, but my main focus is on the depending on how much, the fund is, how much I can complete with what I responded with, that's the.
Yeah, no change in design or material roof,
No,
main roof is stripped down, covered in plywood, this water shield, underlayment. And then we're gonna finish going with the huge bench. New asphalt roofing architect, flashing roof cable. 30-year warranty, no change in design.
that's what the house is, to look like, the house is different. Mhm.
Then, the gutters. Okay, so there's nothing here in the. Everything appears to be not applicable. Right. So,
We're not changing anything.
just for the sake of, the record, we have entertained motion that we consider this application. At 85 Westminster Street, now applicability. So.
Second.
Thank you. Is there any discussion on that? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All in favor? Aye. Aye. There you go. Well, I was saying all in favor. Skip along. Okay, now we have,
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
we have,
We're sticking through the whole thing and now you're at the end.
well, that happened before I couldn't be quicker, but. 47 Riverview.
Can look, I can stand up.
You're taking a little, light. Okay, have you seen enough?
Yeah.
Seen enough?
Yeah. I used to be on a lot of these.
Okay, so this is applications, it's not, we're just reviewing non-applicability, no change in the design of materials, exterior side replacement, place like material matching existing. Any broken deteriorated emission side and trim decorative members and repair and then prime and painted. Paint on exterior wall, 40 trims, they say, pretty. And paint, no change in design, masonry. Foundation, you are making. Match new mortars close as possible comply with the.
Yeah, I want to get the bricks pointed. For a long time. And that's, there she is, that white ice on the garage is priming. It's going to be, you know, the off-white, and I'm not sure if I'm gonna use salmon again, or if I'm gonna use an off dusty red.
Okay, you're in a shame-free zone, don't, you know,
There you go.
don't have to defend anything. We love them all.
Yeah.
No, it sounds like you're doing it. You're not putting one together, you know, so, but if you find, as you've heard in the evening, if you find anything that you are all gonna make a change,
No,
then you just gotta come see.
yeah. The only change I would make is to put this deck that it was originally on there on the side. In 1907.
Yeah.
It was taken many years ago,
One
but
thing,
most of those houses did have it.
would you mind saying your name and address for the rest?
Cheryl, SHERYL, Rueli, RUELI.
That's fine, just do, just say it's fine, just say his name and address.
I'm usually very loud.
That's okay.
You were cranking, you were getting.
Yeah, no, I'm standing in front of a classroom all day.
So is any, do any commissioners see any issue here with any conceal, I entertain a motion that we consider the portion of the C Street application not applicable. Second, any discussion on that? No. All in favor? Aye.
Yeah. Thank you. I can go now.
I'm sure you
Tough
were
town.
trying.
Yeah, I loved it, honestly.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been there since 1964. The year after somebody was assassinated, you know what that was?
I remember the day.
Me too. Thank you.
You're not the only one in here that can remember that. I had to look around and see. Al remembers it.
It might have been.
Oh, sorry, we haven't. So this is an application, again, we're reviewing non-applicability. Again, sorry, another way, I'm almost thinking that needs more information.
Well, look at the education.
Well, right.
They were voting on stuff. So okay with
So
Stan.
this is no change in design or material, which is the main key of non-applicability. Exterior side, repair, replace with like materials to match existing, broken interior, the missing side, repair, definitely repair and then frame the painting. The porch would be stripped down the board and it would have inch floor and rubber roofing. And you cover it in the install the board and reinstall, no change in design. Yep.
Well, by the way, I'm talking to Charlie Lee.
Even the basketball there.
No, it's not there anymore, it's nothing.
Yeah, so we'll get lax in the names of the addresses. Come on, you too.
I'm Charlie Lee, I reside at 54 Fairfield Street.
So there's no, and as you've heard, probably 15 times.
Yes.
This is, if we find it's not applicable, it's good, but if you find anything that you're gonna have to change, then you have to trust it. You know, sometimes they'll get into doing a repair, something is, we have to do this differently. And it just, when that happens, if it's gonna be a change in design or material, then you gotta. So I see no issue here is I entertain a motion. To indicate the application. Not applicability or not applicability, I think I'm right there, Field Street. So.
Second.
Any discussion? The Sunday will be greeted.
Everything should be the color it is now.
Naturally. Yeah, prime generic process. Okay, anything else? Just a comment, just an architectural commentary. Okay, so back to 62 Westminster requesting letter of support for the proposed Massachusetts Preservation Fund project. Greetings, Carriage House. This is to the planning department. Request for letter of support formally funds to restore Carriage House. Carriage House is very historic, but it's very deteriorated. Well, before I purchased the property, seriously need repairs. I hereby authorize David Gaby and like CDC to make a presentation on behalf relative to obtaining support for obtaining Massachusetts Preservation Project grant. Thank you. Okay, you got it.
Okay, so as you can see. In the historic pictures. This is a relatively large. Carriage house. It was adapted, it was well maintained long enough to be adapted to being a garage. Yes, it's even fully plastered inside. And subsequent to that, it was not well maintained. Valleys are not functioning. There's quite a lot of structural damage to the perimeter walls. Most of the stones in the perimeter walls do not reach to the ground. There's the reason it hasn't collapsed. When they put the automobile adaptation, they put a big I-beam across. So there's the columns and a big I-beam holding it up. They're trying to both salvage the slate roof and restore the structure. This is just going to stabilize. We're not planning to restore the doors back to what they were. Garage doors. So it's you know, when you're there, you see the volume of it. It's just big. It's big, yeah. It's bigger than most of it.
That none of this was ever converted to living space like some of them.
I don't think so.
It doesn't look at any upstairs, nothing.
There's signs of a bathroom. But it looks like, the chauffeur. Whoever's taking care of the horses.
So this is how. So you're just looking for a letter of support. What do you think the cost is?
You're estimating it at $200,000. And what it is with the preservation projects, there's a form that local historical commission is sign.
Now, what's the condition of the house?
The house is presently, I'm very happy that you said that. I was very happy to drive down the street today, and suddenly the porch has got its squareness back, and it looks like a good part of the street because it's going through a CPA grant right now.
Because that's important to me, that if the front is being maintained, then it's more worthwhile to try to save the carriage.
Well, the front porch is structural.
Yeah.
The front of there's a front porch and a side. The front porch is rhythm there. Side porch. That should be done by next. And we were able to get someone to repair the thing, put it on Carter Valley.
I don't. I have no issue with support for this. Is there any other official request for this yet? Where are you?
We're at the stage where I got the official form from the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. And I'm filling it out and it says. Talks here in local.
That's what I was wanting to say. I want to make sure you have that before we do this.
I'm right down, I'm like on page 5 and it said endorsement of local authority.
Any commissioners have any questions or any issues with this?
No.
Let me make a motion.
Write a letter of endorsement.
Sure. Wherever you want to word it.
Or endorse it, if they write a letter and sign it on it. So move.
What's the motion? Spell it out.
The motion was to write a letter of endorsement and or
sign a form, a state form if necessary to add to the endorsement. Second on that? Second, I think that covers it. Not. Quiet, we're usually quiet today. Any discussion on the motion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, I don't have any problems. I should vote for that. Now, public speak out. Anybody? Come on up.
I can say it.
You can stay there if you'd like, you just gotta talk louder, but just give your name and address before you do.
Yes, Stephen, Howard, 11 Whittington Street.
Yeah.
I thought before the motion was being made, I thought that comment, folks in the audience would be asked if they're in favor of or against. I don't know if that applied to the
It
last.
doesn't apply in the last few.
Okay. All right.
That's, not everything is is subject to the public commentary.
Okay. Two big things.
Yes.
The request for the letter of support for the carriage house.
Yeah.
I find it interesting because to my limited understanding, the house of itself has received, I think, something like, I forgot how much money, but it only did receive some money to fix the house. And right now the house is like practically falling down, right? And the money to be, the carriage house, from what little you could see, is in very bad shape. Those images that you just saw there looks nothing, is not reflective of the carriage
Yeah,
house.
it's worse than it looks, sure.
Right?
Usually are.
So I wouldn't comment on that, but I would go with that. I would get that.
See, but here's what we're doing. Let me just explain the difference. If we think a particular issue is worth supporting, we don't determine if they get money or how much it is. Somebody else will determine, might not agree that it's worth doing. We're just saying this is a historic property. If they, we think it's worth consideration. But we have no say in anything else after that. So I would hate to say no, and money's gonna go somewhere. The more of it we can bring here and help to stabilize our historic properties, the better. But a different body decides if that house is, or that carriage house is getting any money.
Okay, now the second thing is, I was just in a meeting and I was trying to figure out, because the lady said that she went to I forgot the name of the department, the folks who make complaints about properties and stuff. That agency department went and looked at the property, and she'd been trying to get it addressed for years now, and it hasn't been. There's overgrowth in the yard like crazy.
Yeah.
She's scared to actually go on her abutting to that property backyard because of all the animals that live there. And it seems as though that agency is doing nothing about it.
Yeah.
Then from what she was saying, the building was almost to the point of being condemned because of the condition of the porch. So what they did, and from what she's saying, it's in an historic designated community.
Yeah.
And the porch was actually removed, and she doesn't know if any approval was given for that. And the address that she gave is 26 Monmouth Street. So apparently that porch was removed, maybe without permission. And the conditions of the building as well as the yard.
Well, let me address both of those. One is we have nothing to do with yards or things like that or code violations. That's code people that cite the violation. And when it comes to the if someone removes something or does something that's supposed to come in front of us, did they?
We'll look into that.
Oh,
I believe Monmouth Street's actually in the National Register.
yeah, but we don't, as a rule, I don't consider us the police here. In other words, I never drive around the city looking for historic violations. Never have, never will. I've seen a few and I kind of watch or see what's going on because What we do is we take people who are in front of us and try and get the best cooperation and the best solution to, which very often are hard problems. Some people have a lot of money, they can do what they want, they have a beautiful house. That's not usually the case, so we want to bring people, we want them to feel like they can talk to us and they can get some of this historic recreation or, restoration completed. I mean, if it's something like that, they'll take a look at it. People do call us and tell us, say, this one, they're doing X, Y, Z. Our job as commissioners, that's not part of what we're commissioned to do. And we have nothing to say about how long the grass is. That goes to code enforcement.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I went to, but nothing's been done about it.
I would just like to add my 2 cents to this discussion, because I've mentioned before. From the people who come here who honor the fact that they're in an historic district and want to participate in this process, I think you guys do a wonderful job. Absolutely wonderful job. I think people come in, they're angry, they're upset, they're anxious, they don't know what's gonna happen here. And by the time they leave, they're historic district advocates. That's my impression, okay? But we've got a lot of properties out there where nobody comes in. They don't wanna come in, okay? Blighted properties, we've got them all over the city. I've got one on my street I've been working on for 9 years. And the process is not an efficient process. For many of those years, code enforcement just sends out $150 a month fines, right? Well, who cares? Right? Nobody's gonna do anything about a property on the basis of a $150 a month fine. And otherwise they go to court. And if they go to court, all of the other things with code enforcement are kind of left behind, and they start again, and it's very, very difficult.
I know it is, I've been involved with them from both sides. Or I had something against me, and then what I found to be an issue is that, this is not in the city of Springfield, just for the record, not Springfield. But I went to the code enforcement in another town that I own property, and about somebody else in the code enforcement guy said to me, he said, we'll go look at that, and as soon as we do that, we're gonna come and look at yours. And I went, well, I'll never be back. I mean, he could come and look at mine, but it sounded like he wasn't sounding, that's what he said. If we'll look at that, but then we're gonna come and look at yours. What? So why would I go? Why would I go report anybody else ever again? Because then they're doing stuff. But it taught me a lesson when I was a landlord. Get the heck out of the business. Anyway,
It's difficult.
I wish, there's a lot of like quality of life things that we wish we could fix for people all the time. You drive around. I'll tell you I got cited at my house where I used to live because my hedges were too long near the intersection. Now they have a law, I didn't know it. I kept it at like 2.5, 3 feet. The law says it can't be higher than 2.5 feet above the highest point in the middle of the two roads. I went out to the middle of Bay Street and I measured it and I continued to cut my hedges that way so that they're low enough. But when I drive, because I got fined for it, I mean, this is before I was a commissioner, but I see everywhere where you drive around and you can't pull up because all the hedges. And I often wonder where all the money is they're getting for those and how come they're not being cited for them, but I never turn them in. So I'm just as guilty, I guess, of not, when I really should say something about.
Most people don't, most people don't speak up.
So, I wish we could help those things, and we're just trying, I think we do try hard, and I appreciate your comments. Trying to make people feel comfortable here and that they have a chance to work out something. That at least won't make their situation any worse for them or the historic. Come on, tap me on the shoulder.
So my question then is there a social media or Facebook for the Springfield Historic Districts that show all the houses and people, did you see the mess so-and-so made of their house? Oh my God, so social media could be your tool to bring up something to the rest of the neighborhood to cause the social pressure to get involved.
Good point. There is social media and not only the social media that everybody knows, but small neighborhood groups, that could put pressure on things like this. It's worth considering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for everybody. I'm going to, you jumping in?
Yeah, well, I had two things I was saying.
Do a quick for us, because I know this one get a little longer than it should
The
have.
first thing is I agreed with the young lady with the Catholic Street project. The quickest distance between the present situation and good code enforcement and code maintenance is to keep that aluminum right where it is.
Right.
But we had a lot of experience working with Bob McCarroll and Daisy in York, taking aluminum and vinyl off houses. And we found that the same people that bought siding also are good housekeeper uppers. So that for the most part, it was not very expensive to restore the siding.
I made that note at the last meeting, because I took vinyl siding, aluminum siding out of the house I used to own, I just sold a year and a half ago. In the siding, the cedar underneath it was beautiful. I said, oh my God.
The worst
I
thing,
cover it.
the worst thing is that the flares on the side on where there's cedar porches and overhangs that are flared, oftentimes they're cut. And the windowsill horns need to be put back on because a lot of the siding installer just cut right through the horn.
Yeah, I agree.
So we used to budget $300 or $400 for trim restoration, which I noticed Shannon mentioned. And so I think that's an option that they shouldn't be scared of if they're looking at options. I mean, but the aluminum looks fine, so. No problem.
Is that one or is that two?
That's one.
Okay.
That's one. The other one,
Motion to adjourn.
the other one is, I didn't comment the other day when Attorney Shruchuk was cutting me off.
Yeah.
But he was invited, he used the open meeting law, he put it up here, total nonsense. He doesn't know what the open meeting law says and he never read it. The fact is that discussion is supposed to, from the community, there's people in the community, not speaking on just myself, but for instance, Jim was talking about that particular house and the windows on Buckingham Street. That would be of assistance to the commission in making decisions, so that his comment that only, this is not something you've done, this is something, in my opinion, he is putting on you as part of some, maybe a political agenda.
After reviewing the actual rule, or the actual words, I think that I kind of blamed it on myself, but Dave, you're the one who gets, if anybody's getting sidetracked around here.
Well, I appreciate the difference, but my point is, there's a difference between being sidetracked and talking about the present exit change.
Right, but I remember when you and I first met, I went like this one day.
Absolutely.
And you got it.
And I got back to the subject.
And you got back.
But Jim was on the subject.
Right.
And he interrupted. He was 100% wrong. That was a violation of Jim's civil rights.
Well, let's try to.
And it was a violation of the commission.
Let's try and do what we're doing good. We're here trying to do good. I mean, I'll talk to him about that if you want. It's on the public record right now. You said
That's
it.
all I did.
And I think his shortness was excessive. Once I read what it's supposed to be. Now, you're supposed to be saying, yes, I agree for this reason, or I disagree is actually what you really need the reason. I disagree because of X, Y, Z. You should get to say it.
Exactly.
I will allow that to be said, but normal people, average people will sidetrack to something that's not on the paper. So in Walter here, I'll give you a little tap if I'm getting away from what's on the paper. So
we've got few of them tonight. Yeah.
Number two, well noted there, and I expect that I will continue to try and minimize comments, but make sure they're on.
When it's on the subject, when it's on the subject, it's relevant and it's
Right, but it's also not unlimited. It should be.
we only have so many hours to live.
Right, that's right. So thank you for that, but I am going to close the public commentary and I'm going to ask for a motion to adjourn. So all in favor? No more comments.
No. Is that really copies of historical legends?